Okay everybody, this video is actually doing the drawing. So I have my ground, I used my brush to kind of brush away my crumbs. I actually used a ruler and I held it down and I took the eraser and I just kind of like held the ruler and cleaned up my edges. They're not perfect, but they're good enough. So next step is I'm going to get out my 2B and have my 4B and 6B ready to go. Have my blending stump, my erasers, I need 2. And I think we're ready. So get your hand in a position that you're going to be able to hold it for a while. I'm just going to pick this one because I know I can hold that for quite a while. And so from my view, it looks more like that. But when I'm drawing, it might be kind of like looking different in the camera, but it's going to be here. So I'll do a little bit of drawing. So remember what I told you before is that if you wanted to, you could have your grid line box in there. And at this point, if you wanted to, you could draw that in. You could also have it ahead of time and then put the ground on top of it. When I put my ground down, I had some edges from my graphite that's kind of in there, and I left them because I kind of like them. But if you don't like it, you can actually go in and you can just gently erase those with your eraser, and then take your tissue and just go back over that again. Just don't do too much moving, because if you do too much, you're going to put all that graphite into the paper and it's going to hold the graphite and it's not going to erase very well later if you need lighter light areas. Okay, so I got my hand, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to start drawing. So your next step is to start sketching it out. For this one, I think I'm going to use a combination of gesture, really lightly, and guidelines, and I'm just going to start drawing, okay? Gesture this all out. So here's the main part of my hand. And if you're finding that your ground is too dark and you need to go in and like erase a little bit of it, that's okay too. You just do what works for you. Okay, so I'm going to try to hold my hand up here so you can see. It's kind of hard, it's like a weird view. I'll just hold it to the side. Alright, so I'm going to gesture out this part of my hand. There we go. Now I'm quite a bit rusty with drawing because, well, obviously I haven't been doing much drawing lately. But I should get back into it again, and I know this is kind of a little bit down further. Now, if you find that you're like, oh, I drew it too far down, it's okay. Just take your time and start using guidelines. Guidelines will help you to decide where things are really supposed to be. I know that this angle here is going to go like this right there. And then I'm going to keep going with guidelines until I've mapped out where I want to go. Look at the invisible lines. Look at this angle. This angle needs to match what's here. So I'm going to draw that in. And these are all going to get erased after. Okay, there's an angle I need. And I'm looking at that right there. From the tip of my finger to the tip of my thumb, it's going to be about like that angle. So I obviously haven't drawn my thumb to the right location yet. Okay, so you keep going with that until you get to a point where you have your hand basically sketched out. So that's the next step.